Good morrow, fellows and lady fellows, and welcome to yet another exhilarating episode of AndyManCam's Garage. So today we're going to be fitting this pair of Oxford Premium Touring heated grips. Really looking forward to getting these puppies on and getting out there for some warm-handed riding. Hooray, heated grips! Let's have at it. We don't need that anymore. There is all sorts of nonsense in here. There's the lovely intelligent heat controller. I have to be honest, the main reason why I went for these ones is because they have battery saving mode. You don't have to look for a switched connection or anything, you just hook them straight up to your battery, and when you turn the bike off, they automatically turn off the grips and save you from coming back to a flat and dead bike. Got the grips itself, and I'm actually just going to start at the business end, get the grips on first. Stick the rest of it out of the way for now. Right, we've got the grips out. They've got apparently this super duper wonderful grip design which gives you both comfort and feel and a wonderful heat transference. I'm not sure how much of that is actually true, but they feel very rubbery. The first thing I notice is obvious which one is which, because the throttle grip is much bigger because it has to go around the throttle grip, and the other one is much smaller because it's just the handlebar. But what's quite strange is I would have thought would have made more sense for them to go on the bars like that, because then the cabling is pointing forwards, it's out of the way of the travel of your levers and stuff, and then you can just cable tie it up with all of your other stuff. But it's the other way around. The grip actually comes on like this, with that bit jutting out, and then cables are just kind of stuck out in space a little bit. I don't understand quite why they've done that. Maybe it'll be different when it's on the bike. Now it's worth just doing a quick dry fit, just to make sure it does indeed fit, and that you've got enough space for everything once it's on there. That looks good to me. And give the bar a quick clean. We're going to actually be super gluing the grip on, so to make sure there's no crap, grease, glue, badger shit, because it gets in everywhere. This is electronic contact cleaner, but it's basically isopropyl alcohol. Give that a proper good scrub. Oxford have thought of everything, because the pack even comes with a tube of super glue, so that's nice and easy. We can just crack on. As the cheerleader said to her prom date, pop the seal, but try not to get sticky stuff everywhere, and then stick it all over the shop. Don't get any of this on your fingers, because it'll stick you to yourself quicker than those early teenage experiments when you first discovered boobies. Right, that's a nice healthy covering, and of course time is of the essence here, so let's get the grip on. Give it a little twist just to disperse the glue around. Looks like we're there. Just like those experiments, we've got a bit of dribblage. Brilliant. Check that your cables are going to go alright. Now see, just as I was worried about, put that there, clutch lever goes straight into it. See that? That's not ideal, is it? So now I've got to spin that out of the way. Suddenly my cables are coming towards me, and I'm worried that maybe they're going to hit the fairing. That's not ideal. Oh well, still works I suppose. Right, so that's grip number one on. Already I've super glued a piece of kitchen roll to my finger. Score. Same again here, we need to clean all of this shit off. So a bit more alcohol. And again, this is just to ensure we get a good grip, because I didn't use super glue the last time I had heated grips. I had R&G grips on Polly the Phaser, and I stuck them on with a piece of PVC tape just wound around there to make it tight. All that did was mean that as soon as it got hot, the glue in the PVC tape melted, and then I was riding along, gave it some throttle, and the bike just kind of went and I thought something awful had happened, but it was just the grip staying still and the throttle moving inside the grip because it was all slippery. I'll give it a dry fit, but there is a chance I might not even need any glue on this one because it's quite tight. A little trick I actually used with the R&G ones was to hook them all up to the bike, because they wouldn't go on, no matter how hard I tried. And when you heat them up, obviously this will expand, and then you can slide it on a lot easier. Give it a little twist, makes it a lot easier. Well, it definitely appears to work without, it's not moving or anything, so I might be able to get away without any glue there, which does mean I don't have to take it off again, which is nice. And I've got it positioned so that when the throttle's closed, the brake lever comes right in without any obstruction, because let's be honest, there's not many times when I'm going to want to be braking and on the throttle at the same time. So yeah, that's that on. Well, I had a little rethink, and after me saying that if you heat up the grips they expand and they're looser, I'm going to avoid any future hassle by actually gluing it, just to make sure I'm not out in the middle of nowhere with a throttle that doesn't work again. I'm going to put quite as much on this time because I don't want to be getting any super glue in between the moving part and the handlebar, because that would end up with a fixed throttle, which is not going to be good news for anyone. So that'll do for now. I'm going to twist it as it goes on, so that'll spread it all out anyway. check your brake lever has clearance, and that's that. Heated grip is fitted. Splendid. So with the grips both installed, we can get on with the control unit, which is a 5-step heated controller with a plus and a minus button, which is already better than the R&G one I had, which you just had to press it to cycle through. Whereas this one you can just go up and down, and as I said, it's got the battery saving thing. But the other bit, which I quite like, simple things keep me happy, is this bad boy. There's a bracket which the controller actually screws onto, but that fits onto your clutch lever clamp so that your heated grip control unit is nice and tidily on your handlebars in the same space as your levers. I really like that. It's a nice touch. All of our gubbins out here to fit it with, and all of this stuff obviously comes in the packet, which is really good. I'm impressed with that. Oxford, you've done a good job there. You get new longer bolts which are shiny in order to facilitate using this bracket, which is a nice touch. Although I was just thinking to myself, isn't it great that these are all Allen keys, every single one of them, and now I'm going back to a spanner. That's a shame. Can't get it right for every bike, can you? So first off, I need to attach the control unit to the bracket with the 4 little screws which are in the packet.
And if I see that ass, well, you know I'm gonna smack it. Lose my way with GPS, I'm gonna track it. Rubik's Cubes, it ain't no problem for me to crack it.
Yep, sorry about that. Luckily my hip-hop career was very short. That was in fact it. Well, that's that all screwed together. And the way this works is, take out our old clutch lever clamp, bolts, stick that in there, take our new bolt, put that through the holder, one of these little colliery jobs, and then tighten that into the bracket. And same again with the other one. Through the holder, stick your little spacer in there, and then into the clamp. Lovely jubbly. And there we go. Handlebar mounted heated grip control. I like that a lot. Now the physical mounting is done, we need to take care of the cabling. And the way this works is the 2 grips connect up to the control unit. The control unit connects up to this bit, and then that bit is connected to the battery. But obviously, can't ride around like that, so I'm going to tidy it up a bit first. And for that job, Oxford kindly provides a bunch of cable ties. How very thoughtful. Now the first fix is going to be about here, to keep everything here nice and tidy. Because this is the one downside of this using this clamp, is the cable is clearly in plain sight, but to be honest I think I can live with it. And I'm going to poke all the cabling through the existing cable channels and loops and things, just to try and keep everything together and nice and tidy. And the idea being that obviously everything gets connected in there somewhere in the dry. Though I'm not quite sure where yet, because this bike has no under tank fuse box like the Phaser had. God, that's a bit fiddly, isn't it? That's like trying to poke smoke up a cat's bum, that is. Right, they're through. Oh, sorry about that, but battery died and I was on a roll. But after a bunch of faffing, I've got these 2 cables come together here. I'll snip that off. Comes down here, joined it here again, snip that off. Then follows the bike cabling underneath there. This one comes underneath. I've connected it here, snip that off. Comes through the cabling holder, and then I've looped it around the front of the ignition barrel where it joins up with the other stuff, and then down here connected the 2 cables onto the main loom. I've wrapped it in some electrical tape, not to try and waterproof it, that would be a bit of a pointless exercise, but just to take away any possible strain on that, because the forks will be moving around. I mean, they'll be fine for this winter, but maybe for next year I might look at actually replacing these with some waterproof connectors, because I've got a bunch left over from the headlight swap video on the Yamaha Phaser. So now what I've got to do is connect this to that, and then run this to the battery which is under the seat. See? There it is. Now what I'm hoping I can do is to not have to take the tank or this panel off, but instead just to pop off this side panel and then run it through a channel which I'm pretty sure is along here under the tank. So there's just one screw at the back, that just pops off, there we go. Put that onto the custom made patented parts mat, screw in there for safekeeping, tuck this through there. I would like to use that cable stay there, but it looks like it's already a bit tight. I have to just rely on cable ties. In case you hadn't noticed, actually, I have started using the wonderful head torch at the moment. If you haven't got a head torch, I recommend you get one. They're really, really handy for doing shit like this where you just can't see sod all. So hopefully I'll be able to poke the cable through here. It's probably going to be one of those cases where it's just been quicker to remove the panel. There we go. Pull that through. That will do nicely. Tuck all of those connectors in there, out of the way. Then check the movement of my steering, make sure I haven't got any snags or bits that are going to snare up. Yeah, that looks good. I might stick a cable tie on there just to give keep it all together. So there's our cable coming down by the side of the petrol tank. With a flathead screwdriver I should be able to hijack this clip here. Stick it in there nice and tidy. Poke our cables through into the battery compartment. There we go. Another nice little touch here is that this cable's got an inline fuse there with a fuse inside already, so that's all ready to go. Just need to connect those onto the terminals, tie up our loose cable, and then we're sorted. Free off our terminals. I always tend to do the negative first. I've forgotten why. I could even be wrong. Well, if you were to just hold the terminal down, being careful not to touch any tools across the two terminals, you won't actually lose the contact anyway. Okay, so that's the negative on. Go the same direction as that one to keep everything tidy. Bolt back in. Nip that tight. Now the positive one. Same drill. Hold your terminal down. Don't lose the contact. You won't lose any trip counter readings or massage seat settings. And for you Goldwing owners, that'll avoid you losing all of your radio presets. We all know how annoying that is. Nip that tight. Does of course now mean that my little plastic battery cover thing doesn't fit. So I'm going to customize that. Customized. Tuck that back in and we should be golden. Look at that. We have power. That should of course, now there we go, battery saving mode, that flashed up there, which means it's switched itself off as far as I know. Once the LED flashes, the battery saving mode LED, what that means is that the light stays on but the grips aren't actually heated, and then after 5 minutes like that, it just switches itself off. Brilliant or what? So all I need to do at this end is just tidy up my loose cables, tuck that all back in. Nothing like keeping the stuff that you can't see tidy, eh? There's a bit of space at the front there, so I'm going to bundle this up. So with the tie up on that, and I'm just going to tuck it underneath the rest of the wiring here so I can get to the fuse if ever I need to. There we go, all nice and tidy, brilliant, and still working, that's good news. Side panel back on, seat, there we go, heated grips fitted. I'll put the mirrors back on at my leisure in the handlebar replacement video, because if you haven't seen it, there's new handlebars on here. Click here to see that video yourself, and let's get out there and test it on the road, see if my hands stay warm in this creepily displayed for you winter weather. That was weird.